Hi-yo everybody, and welcome back to Imagine Your Odyssey. Today I want to take you through some of the behind the scenes stuff that we have to do to bring you those adventures that you love so much. Kind of like this one here about the zip lining that we did previously. So today, what I want to actually go through is some of the maintenance items that you have to do on your tow rig. Now in this case, I have a 2002 Dodge Ram 3500 dually, and it has a diesel. So there's some oil changes and things like that I have to do today. So I'm going to take you through all of those. But before we do that, let's get into unboxing to see what we have in these boxes here. And we'll get started with all the tips and stuff like that of things that I like to do to make sure that my rig is ready to tow whatever it is that we're getting ready to go on the road with. All right, so the first couple of items that we're going to get started with is oil change, a oil filter change, as well as a fuel filter change. You know, we got a diesel, so we want to make sure that we keep up with that. Now, you can look at your manufacturer's notes and stuff like that and see what kind of recommendations it has for oil change. Now, I like to do mine my own because, well, it's an older rig at that, and it saves me a ton of money by doing so. I think in all, for me to do an oil change on mine, including the fuel filter and stuff like that, it's about $100. If I go to the place where I want to get my oil change and stuff done, I think that's somewhere around $180, so I'm saving me some money there. So let's get into unboxing here and see what we got inside, and then we'll get into starting the oil change and stuff like that. So first off, I'm gonna open the box with a knife. Now, if you're gonna use a knife to open up your boxes, be careful. These things are sharp. Just a quick safety tip there. So as we get into opening the box, a truck takes 3 gallons of oil. A lot of your gas trucks and stuff like that don't take that much oil, but the diesels do. So I got 3 gallons of oil here. I also use synthetic in mine. The reason for using synthetic is because it can actually get a few more miles and it's good on the truck. I've been told, but I don't know for sure, that when you use synthetic, if you actually have an oil leak or something like that, the residual oil will actually save or protect your engine longer, just in case you run a little low. I don't know that for sure, but I have heard that before. So anyway, whew, boy, was that heavy. We'll go ahead and open it up here. So my oil of choice is the Shell Rotella T6 15W40 full synthetic. Like I said before, I've been told that it helps take care of the engine in case you have an oil leak or something like that, or you run low, you won't have as much damage on your vehicle. The other items that we need to have out are our fuel filter and our oil filter. Now our oil filter itself is made by Fleet Guard, which is designed specifically for this vehicle, and then our fuel filter. The reason for the fuel filter is because diesel itself, for any of you that may not know, is or can be a little dirty. So fuel filter is very important to change that. I usually change my fuel filter about every other oil change or every 3rd oil change. I don't know how you do it, so leave that in a comment down below on how often you do your oil changes and what do you change. As far as the oil change goes, here's kind of the order we're going to do things. We're going to go underneath the truck and we're going to drain the oil out. While it's draining, we're going to go ahead and start getting the fuel filter out and the oil filter off and start getting all that ready. So come with me as we go underneath the truck and get the oil drain. All right, as I get this drain plug out to start emptying the oil out of the drain pan, I'd like to remind you of a few things. One is clicking the subscribe button. What good is it for me to make all these here videos and nobody to watch them? Click that subscribe button and click that little bell beside it. That way you get notified every time an amazing video from Imagine Your Odyssey comes out for you guys. Also, as you do maintenance and stuff like that on your vehicle, I just got oil all over me. So as you do maintenance on your vehicle, please share down in the comments on some of the things that you do. If you like to do a lot of your own maintenance and stuff like that to save money, I would love to know what kind of tips that you have, and maybe, just maybe, I'll use one of your ideas in order to make some new videos. So anyway, I'm gonna climb out from under this truck while this thing is draining and start the rest of the work. So come along with me, we'll head up to the top and start getting some of the filters out. All right, first things first, I gotta get this filter out of the way. And for any of you that are wondering what this filter is, it's actually my air filter. I was doing some investigating online trying to find a way to get better airflow. And what I found was a thing called a BHAF. So if any of y'all wanna know what BHAF stands for, it stands for Big Honking Air Filter. No lie, you can Google it. If you look it up, type in BHAF filter or BHAF air filter. It's really just for this year, I think. But if you want to look that up, at BHAF air filter, Big Honking Air Filter, that is actually the real name. It kind of surprised me. All right, down here is that oil filter. I'll get it out. Now I gotta be careful with it because it is still full. So what I'll do is I'll get it out of the truck and I'll take it and set it to the side. When the truck is done draining down below and I get the bucket out, I'll put it inside the bucket and let it finish draining in there. Now it's important to do that because what I'm gonna do in the end is put all that back into the containers that we get the new oil out of and take it down the road and put it in a recycle. Here's the oil filter. All right, so now for the fuel filter. Now, this one I gotta be careful with because, well, the wife, she says she hates it when I get diesel fuel on me because I stink all day long, smelling like diesel fuel. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to be careful. Now, I have a plastic bag here that I'm gonna put over my hand so that I can pull it out and not get it on me. And I know, I should have rubber gloves, but I just pulled out my box with rubber gloves in it, and guess what? Yeah, I've done used them all and I didn't replace it like a dummy. So I'm gonna use this plastic bag to cover my hand, get this fuel filter out, and go ahead and change it. So as I'm doing this, I like to note one other thing. Watch throughout the videos, there's things that have changed. When I was shooting the video, in one scene, there's something in place, and then on the next scene, there's something out of place. So I like to see if you can identify what those things are. And stay till the end of the video because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back and show you where all those points are. All right, now that I got the oil filter out, the fuel filter out, these two doohickeys here, and all the oil is drained, I'm gonna go ahead and get all that filled back up, put back in place, and then we'll get into the other tips and stuff like that that we have around some of the things that we look for to include radiator fluid and air tire pressure and stuff like that. So we'll get into that. So let's go ahead, get all this stuff installed, and we'll get to the next step. All right, now that we've got all that done, some other things that you may want to check for are your transmission fluid, your radiator coolant level, your windshield washer fluid level, and also your brake fluid levels. Now these are important because, you know, there are things that are needed in order to get down the road. Also, you want to make sure that you're going to have a nice, safe trip. So if you check all these things before you leave, then you should be okay. Now, you know, things do happen. You got to be prepared for that. So expect the unexpected, right? But to make sure everything is good up front, we'll make sure that your vehicle is healthy for your next trip. All right, so the last thing I want to check today is the air pressure on my tires. So I turn my gauge on. I'm sitting around 66.5 pounds. Now, if you look on the edge of the tire right here, it'll tell you how many pounds of air you should have in your tire. Now, I've already looked on the side of mine. Just like you can see here, I should be around 80 pounds. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill her on up. And now I'm gonna go ahead and recheck after filling it up. And I'm right at 80 pounds. The reason that you want to make sure that your air pressure is right is because you're going to be towing something, right? You're going to look on the side and it's going to say that you're going to need X amount of pounds of air in your tire in order to maintain a certain amount of weight, the weight that you're going to be towing. So it's a good idea to check on your air pressure. Now, if it's becoming winter time or something like that, it's a good idea to even check it then. Now, cold air, unless you have nitrogen in your tire, is more likely going to drop a little bit of air pressure. So just keep an eye on that. And then one last good tip about your air pressure on your tires, I would recommend checking it twice a year. Once in the springtime, a little closer to summer when things have warmed up, and again in the fall when things have cooled down a little bit. So now that this one is finished and I've got this one at the air pressure that I want, I've got 5 more to go. Yes, I have a dually, so I got 6 tires. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that done and I'll be right back to you. All right, the quick sum up. Tires are done, oil's changed, filters are changed, and fluids are checked. Everything is good to go now. So now I feel comfortable that next time we go on a trip, that my tow rig will be good to go. And earlier I had mentioned that there was a couple instances in the video where something was different from one scene to the next. Did you find out what they were? Because they are right here. All right, I want to go ahead and wrap up the video here, but before I go, remember to click on that subscribe button and click on the thumbs up for likes because YouTube likes it and it likes to know that you like it. And if you like it and you're commenting down below, then it will promote the video and all of the other videos to come. And if you're clicking on that thumb button and you're clicking on the subscribe and you're clicking on the bell next to it to get subscribed, then you will get more videos that this awesome channel has to provide for you. Also, please remember to leave some comments down below. It's really important to the rest of us as a community to learn with each other, right? So leave some comments down below about some of the maintenance items and stuff that you do with your rig, and we can all learn together. So that just about sums it up. And until the next time, keep your rig maintained, enjoy your adventures, keep it safe, and God bless.